Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Steph.
And this is little baby Theo.
He's taking it easy today. We are a married lesbian couple from Vancouver, Canada, and the creators of Let's See the World.
So we just celebrated a fun anniversary. It's been 7 years since the day we got engaged as of April 17th, and so we wanted to share the story of our engagement.
I can't believe how long it's been. It seems like yesterday and forever ago at the
same
time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a really special day. Steph was the one who proposed to me, and we were down in New York, and it's a really cute story, so we figured we would tell you all about it today and take a little walk down memory lane.
So Katie and I had been together for about 3 years when I decided to propose. We had talked about a future together, so we were both very much on the same page. I knew I was going to get a yes, which was nice.
At that point, we had moved from Vancouver to Toronto together, and we'd already really started building our life, so we definitely knew that marriage was in our future, and I think we'd even looked at rings, and we definitely talked about getting engaged, but we never really talked about when or what it would look like or who would propose or anything like that. So I was actually very surprised when it happened, very pleasantly surprised.
I'm glad she was surprised because we had talked about it so much that, going on any trip easily could have been a giveaway that it was going to happen then. But I did keep things under wrap, and I'm pretty proud of that. So
you really did.
So New York is one of our favorite cities, hands down. We both love theater. We love going to shows. We love the food there. We just love everything about New York. I figured New York was a great place to propose, and there were a lot of different ways that I could do it, but I wanted it to be something low-key. Even though Katie's a performer, I knew she didn't want anything to be a big spectacle, so that right away was out of I wasn't going to do anything big where, she was on a jumbo screen or on stage somewhere. So
I'm glad you know that about me, because that I would not have been comfortable with that. I liked that it was something that was more intimate and just for us.
Yeah. So because we had been to New York a handful of times together already, we had a few spots that really kind of felt like our spots. And one in particular was our favorite restaurant at the time, which unfortunately no longer exists. It was a restaurant in the Gramercy Park area, and it had this beautiful back garden, and it felt so magical. Every time we went there, we even talked about how it would be a great wedding venue.
Yeah.
And I just knew that somehow I had to incorporate that place into the whole proposal. Also, a friend of mine happened to work at that restaurant, so I had a bit of an in, which was great. I basically had secret phone calls with him for like a month leading up to this, and every time Katie was out, I would sneak on the phone and we would chat about the plan. So it was all very inconspicuous, which was kind of fun.
You did a really good job of hiding it from me, because we're definitely the kind of couple who we see each other's phones and computers and I don't know, we just we live together and our lives are so intertwined that it would be really hard to keep a secret, but you really did such a good job of keeping a secret. I had no idea.
Well, that's why I specifically didn't talk to him over text. We only discussed the plan on the phone. Because if my phone was out and a text had popped up from him, I know that Katie would have been like, "Oh, it's Greg. What did Greg say?" Yeah. So we had to keep things off text and just speak over the phone, which worked well.
That's smart.
Yeah, so I had my bases covered.
Yeah.
The other aspect of the proposal that I really wanted to have was I wanted to incorporate our favorite song. So Bright Eyes, First Day of My Life was the song that Katie did choreography to in the first dance class that I took with her. So not only is it a beautiful song, also the lyrics just somehow work so perfectly with our relationship and how we met and everything. So I wanted to use that somehow, and I figured it would be really cute to have someone play that song on the guitar on the steps of a brownstone outside of our restaurant. So that's exactly what I did. I coordinated with a friend of mine who I went to high school with who was living in New York, and luckily Katie hadn't met him, so when we walked by him playing the guitar, she didn't know who he was. And I had him set up just outside the restaurant, and he was playing the song.
It was so magical. We'd just had lunch and just had this really perfect laid back day, And I truly didn't suspect anything. Like, it felt like a great day, but it didn't feel like anything like overly special where I was like suspecting anything at all. Like, it was just a really, really nice day. And after lunch, Greg was working the lunch shift, and so we said goodbye to him, and we walked out of the restaurant, and Steph was kind of like, oh, like, let's go this way, and I didn't think anything of it. And then we kind of stopped like a few steps outside the restaurant, and there was a guitar player sitting on the steps, and she kind of stopped me and was like, listen to what he's playing. And I swear I didn't think at all for a second that she had like staged it. I don't know, it just felt like this perfect like New York moment. There was just someone sitting there playing our song, and we just kind of stopped, and like before I even had a moment to really think about like what was happening, it was just already happening. And then I looked at her, and she got down on one knee, and the rest is just like a total blur.
Yeah, luckily we have some video footage. So my friend who was playing guitar, his wife was actually hiding behind a bush taking a video.
And I'm so glad we had that, because I wouldn't remember like what happened.
Yeah.
I think in those moments, like they're so emotional, and when they're unexpected, like you just really kind of get lost in the moment, and it just felt like time kind of froze, and we were just there. And I remember getting down on my knees like on the pavement with you, and just like hugging you for what felt like forever, and just crying. And there were people walking by on the sidewalk like staring at us, and it was just, in those moments you're just like, you're so in it, and you're just there with each other, and like you don't see anything else that's going on. And
yeah.
I don't know, it was perfect. It was so perfect. And obviously I said yes. And when we got up, I remember turning around and seeing, like looking back toward the restaurant and seeing Greg and like all of the lunch staff standing there, and they'd all been staring at us waiting, and they were cheering, and he had like a tray of champagne, and that was the first moment where I was like, oh my god, like everyone knew about this. Like I'm the only person that didn't know about this. Like you had planned this whole thing, and everyone was in on it except for me.
Yeah.
That was when it kind of like dawned on me, like just how special it was and how much time and effort you put into it.
Yeah.
It was a very special day. And then being in New York and getting to celebrate being engaged in New York, and the whole rest of that trip was amazing.
Yeah.
And I just remember like calling all of our friends and families. I remember asking you like who else knows about this, and like everyone did. Like you'd already talked to everyone that was important to me, and it was just so cool knowing that like Steph had gone to so much trouble and spent so much time and effort like really thinking about it, and really thinking about what would feel special to me. And it was so special.
Aww. As I mentioned, theater is very important to both of us, and one of the things we do on our New York trips is see as many shows as possible.
Yeah.
A lot of the time with really exclusive shows, the only way to get tickets is to do lottery or rush. So Neil Patrick Harris was playing Hedwig in the Angry Inch, and I was determined to see this show. We both wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And of course the lottery for that show was packed, so the chances of winning tickets were so slim. But the night after we got engaged, we went to the theater, and we signed up for the lottery, and we actually met another couple while we were waiting there. So we got to talking with this other couple, and we decided that if for some reason they won 2 sets of tickets, that they would give the second ones to us, and if we won 2 sets of tickets, we would give the second set to them. I mean, it's just a long shot in general to even win 1 set, so
totally.
No one actually thought that this was a possibility. But somehow, like the 3rd or 4th name called was them. And we were so excited for them, and we were so happy for them, and we kind of thought, oh, like, they won, that's fun, we didn't win, And then the last name was called, and we didn't know this person's name either. When the last name was called, the woman we were standing with was just so nonchalant. She was like, oh, that's me. And we're like, wait, that's you? That means it's us. We won.
Okay.
So she won tickets, and her partner won tickets, which means that we got the second set, and we got to go see Neil Patrick Harris in Hedwig the night after we got engaged.
And I think it was our last night.
That was our last night in New York.
So it was our last chance to see it, and I couldn't believe it. The show was amazing. Obviously, the fact that we actually won tickets was just like, it felt like 1 in a million. It was so lucky. And yeah, the show was incredible. We waited outside the stage door after and got our program signed by Neil Patrick Harris, and it was just like a perfect New York night.
Yeah.
Just such a perfect trip, and yeah, it really couldn't have gone any better.
Yeah.
New York is just always going to be such a special place to us, and we've gone back a few times since getting engaged in 2014, and we always try and go back to the same spot on the street, and unfortunately the restaurant's not there anymore, which is so sad because it was such a special place for us. But we have gone back to the spot outside and we've taken photos in front of it, and it always feels really special to go back there and kind of relive that moment.
Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't be happier with how it all went, and I think that, our best advice for anyone looking to propose would be just to do something that's you. I think the most special thing you can do for your partner is something that means a lot to you. If you have a special place or a special activity that you like to do together, make it personal. That would be the advice that I would give.
Definitely. And for same-sex couples, I mean, obviously there are no rules as to how it needs to go or who should propose or anything like that. Lots of couples both propose, or lots of couples, one person will because the other person just doesn't feel like they need to experience that for themselves. Everyone is so different, and for us, I think you always knew that you wanted to propose to me, and I think I really wanted that experience, and you knew that. And we had always joked afterward that Steph never got her proposal, but she actually did for our 5-year wedding anniversary, which just happened a couple months ago. I proposed back to her. We have a whole video on that, which you can go watch as well.
Definitely check that video out.
Yeah. So we both had the opportunity now to plan a proposal and go through with it, which I think is a really cool experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. We'd love to hear your proposal stories, so if you've got them, leave them in the comments below.
And if you could take a quick moment to like this video if you enjoyed watching it, and hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out, and you'll be sure not to miss any of our future videos.
See you next time.